Hi, scholars, and welcome to Miss Imani B's classroom. I'm Miss Imani, or Miss B, and welcome to another episode of Miss B Reads. Today, we are going to be continuing reading the Stories Julian Tells by Anne Cameron. If this is your first time reading this book with us, please go back and check out our other videos. Today, we are looking at chapter 5. Chapter 5, My Very Strange Teeth. We are looking at Chapter 5, My Very Strange Teeth. And we're so excited because, scholars, if you remember, as we've been reading this book, we've really been thinking about the type of character that Julian is and how we've been getting our evidence or how we've been coming with our opinion or what we think about Julian is we've been looking at how Julian responds to conflict. Remember, conflict is a problem or when something goes wrong. How does Julian respond to it? And even we can start thinking, what causes these conflicts? Is Julian the cause? Does he contribute to it? So we can start thinking about that as well. And when the conflict happens, what does Julian do? Take a second and think, what does Julian do? Right, Julian runs away, he gets silent, he gets worried, and we started thinking of character traits about him. So character traits tell us about a person based on what they say, they do, or what they think, or even what they feel. So we were like, Julian runs away from conflict. We said, he gets scared. We said that sometimes he's not independent. We said, now, when he's like really in the heat of it, he does problem solve sometimes. We said that he's curious. We said that sometimes he's mischievous. We had all these different character traits based on what Julian does when he has a problem. So I want you to take a second. I'm going to tell you the name of this book again. The name of this chapter, not book, but chapter is My Very Strange Teeth. Scholars, My Very Strange Teeth. What do you think this chapter is going to be about? Maybe. Okay. All right. Are you ready? Are you ready to see what My Very Strange Teeth is about? All right. My Very Strange Teeth. My mother and Huey were listening. My father and I were talking. Well, my father said, if you wait long enough, it will fall out. He was talking about my tooth, my right bottom front tooth. How long do I have to wait? I asked, because I had two right bottom front teeth, one firm little new one pushing in and one wiggly old one. I can't say, my father said. Maybe a month, maybe 2 months, maybe less. I don't want to wait, I said. I want one tooth there and I don't want to wait 2 months. All right, said my father. I'll take care of it. He jumped out of his chair and ran out the door to the garage. He was back in a minute carrying something. A pair of pliers. Your tooth is a little loose already, my father said. So I'll just put the pliers in your mouth for a second. Twist and the tooth will come out. You won't feel a thing. I won't feel a thing? I looked at the pliers, huge black-handled pliers with a long pointed tip. I thought I would feel a thing. I thought it would hurt. Shall I? Said my dad. He raised the pliers toward my mouth. No, I said, not that way. Don't you know any other way to take out a tooth? Well, he answered, when I was a boy, the main way was with a pair of pliers, but there was another way. Just you wait. He jumped up again and ran to the closet. When he came back, he had a spool of black thread. Thread didn't look as painful as pliers. This is a simple way, my father said. Just let me tie this thread around your old tooth. All right, I said. Very carefully, my father tied the end of the thread around my old tooth. That didn't hurt. Now, my father said, stand here by the door. I stood by the kitchen door, and my father tied the other end of the thread to the doorknob. Now what? I said. Now, my father said, you just close your eyes. What are you going to do? I asked. I wasn't even going to close my eyes when I didn't know what was happening. This is a good method from the old days. My father said, you close your eyes, then very suddenly I shoved the kitchen door shut. Snap! The thread pulls the tooth right out. I looked at the kitchen door. It was a lot bigger than I was, and about 20 million times bigger than my tooth. Won't it hurt? I was really afraid I might lose my whole head with the tooth. Oh, just a little, my father said. Just for a second. No, thanks, I said. Please take this thread off my tooth. All right, then. My father shrugged his shoulders and took the string off my tooth. Don't you know any other way? There is one other way, my father said. Go into the bathroom, stand over the sink, and just keep pushing the tooth with your finger till it comes out. Will that hurt? You can stop pushing when it hurts, my father said. Of course, it takes longer. I would be very glad to do it with either the pliers or the doorknob. No thanks, I said. I started pushing on my tooth with my finger. Why can't I push it out here? I asked. Why do I have to do it over the sink? When you get the tooth out, my father said, it'll bleed. That's why you take the tooth out over the sink, so you have cold water to rinse your mouth and stop the bleeding. How much bleeding? Some, enough so you should use the sink. I decided right then that my old tooth could stay in my mouth right beside the new one as long as it wanted. 2 months, 2 years, anytime. I've changed my mind, I said. That tooth can stay, even if it is stupid to have 2 teeth where one should be. It's not stupid, my mother said. Just unusual. You have very special teeth. I bet prehistoric cavemen would have liked to have your teeth. Why? They ate a lot of raw meat, my mother said. It must have been hard for a cave boy to eat raw meat with teeth missing. But you have 2 teeth in the space of 1. You could have eaten mastodon meat or saber-toothed tiger meat or anything the hunters brought home. A cave boy with 2 teeth in place of 1? I wished I had a time machine to go back to the very old days, before pliers and before doorknobs, back to the caves. I curled my lower lip under. You look like a cave boy, my mother said. You should show the kids at school your teeth, Huey said. Maybe I will, I said. I went to my room and made a sign for myself. It read, See cave boy teeth, 1 cent. I wore the sign at recess the next day. My friends came around. What does that mean? They asked. I grunted and held up a penny. I couldn't explain. If I talked, they'd see my teeth for free. After a while, one girl gave me a penny, and I showed her my special cave boy teeth. Some of the other kids had missing teeth, but nobody had 2 teeth in 1 space like mine. I ran all the way home after school to tell my mother what happened. I said, tomorrow I'll show more kids. I picked up an apple that lay on the kitchen table and took a big bite. Ow! I said, because I could feel my old tooth twist in my mouth. In a minute, without too much blood, it was lying on my hand. Ow! I said again, not because it hurt, but because right then was the end of my special mastodon-eating, double-biting, cave boy teeth.
Scholars, what did you think about that chapter? Did you notice, though, there was a problem, but not necessarily that something went wrong. It was more of the problem where it's like something that the character wants, that they need, but they do not have. Because what did Julian want? Right, Julian wanted to be able to pull his tooth out. He wanted to be able to get his tooth out, but it just didn't happen. And his father came up with different solutions, but some of them kind of scared Julian. So Julian was like, no, not today, not tomorrow, no. And then, what did his mom do? Right, yeah, his mom encouraged him. So Julian took that and he was able to fix the problem, to kind of find a solution. Instead of pushing the teeth out, what was he going to do? Right, he was going to make a profit. He was going to make a little bit of money and be like, hey, look at me. Look at my uniqueness. Julian took something that bothered him and he turned it into something that empowered him, that made him feel special. Today, I want to challenge you. Think about something in your life that might bother you, or something that you might feel is different about you, or something that you just can't always fix or deal with, how can you change that around to make it for the better? How can you empower yourself, meaning give yourself power to be strong in that? How can you empower yourself to be like, this is actually not something weird or strange about me. This is something unique. This is something special. This makes me special. Try that out today. Until next time, bye!